Hello and welcome to Magical Travel Adventure. I am Lauren, your host, and today we are going to be talking about early entry and rope drop at Walt Disney World. What an exciting topic. Are you an early morning riser? Let me know below, because if you're not an early morning riser, it's okay. I'm going to help you out. Stop watching this video. It's not going to help you. So just turn it off. Find something else to watch. It's okay. I don't mind. If you're new here, I am Lauren. I'm a travel advisor. My information is below if you need help booking your next Disney World vacation. And I love to personalize people's vacations. There is so much information out there on the internet about Walt Disney World and planning and all that stuff. And it becomes overwhelming super fast. And, I'm different than a lot of travel agents. I have conversations on the phone. We meet online. There's a lot of stuff that I do for my clients. And I make sure that it's a personalized vacation based on what you want. And I only provide the information that you need for that. I can filter out all that stuff that you don't need. And I give you great tips and tricks like this one. So let's get into early entry and rope drop. These can be confusing. So in 2023, Disney World announced that in 2024, things are going to kind of go back to how they were pre-pandemic. Now, there are changes and things like that, and a lot of things have been updated and things like that. So you really need to know that information going in here. But early entry and rope drop are one of those things that people get confused with a lot. So early entry is one of the benefits of staying at a Walt Disney Resort is that you get early entry. And that's that whatever day you have tickets for, you get 30 minutes early into whatever park you're going to. So Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom. Every day, the 4 of those parks open 30 minutes early to Walt Disney World guests. So that helps you so you can get onto rides earlier. Rope drop is when they are officially opening the park at the park time, and there are people who are literally walking with these ropes, making sure people walk and do not run. And we'll get into that a little more because sometimes this rope drop thing happens often. As you can see, this is Main Street in Disney World. And it's important that you see that this is happening so that people are not running. So, all right, let's talk about how it works at the park. So early entry is for those Walt Disney World guests. And what's going to happen is you are going to scan your band like you regularly would to the park, whatever park you're going to that day. And then you're going to go in a little further and they're going to have one of the people in your room scan again. So it's important that you all stay together because they're going to scan your band and then they're going to let you go to whatever ride or area of the park that is currently open. Not all the rides are open for early entry. So that's something you need to know. So the goal in that 30 minutes is that you can ride 1, maybe 2 rides in that 30 minutes. And my biggest tip is that I'm going to say you want to arrive before the early entry time. So let's talk about that. If, let's say, Epcot opens for the regular time is 9 a.m., let's say. Epcot opens at 9 a.m. Early entry then is 8:30 a.m. And it will say in the app when you look at the times that early entry is 8:30. Your goal is to arrive to your transportation, however you're going to get there, an hour before that 8:30 time. So that means 7:30 time. Now you can see why I said early morning people, you should not be doing this. So if you're taking the Skyliner, 7:30, boat, 7:30, bus, 7:30, you want that hour before early entry. And you're going to get on and get to your transportation. Sometimes it'll be held outside of the parks. So like at Disney World, at Magic Kingdom, sometimes they'll only let you in 30 minutes before. So if you're on a bus, if you have that bus transportation at 30 minutes before early entry, they will start letting you in to line up to come into Magic Kingdom. That is because, Magic Kingdom is a different thing. So I'm going to talk about Magic Kingdom differently when we get to it. But the big part is you want to all stay together because you're double going to have to prove that you're staying on property. The first is the normal time when you tap in like, hey, I have a ticket for today. You're using your room key or you're using your Magic Band or you're using your phone. Then you're all going to want to stay together because early entry guests, you have to tap in again to then be able to get to the rides. Now, your goal is to know which ride that you are trying to get to in the morning. Okay. So, because not all rides are open. And you need to have a backup plan because oftentimes rides go down, especially in the morning. So Hollywood Studios is known for that. Slinky Dog, Rise of the Resistance, Tower of Terror, those are the top 3 that go down all the time. And when all 3 are down, you want to have that backup plan so you're not wasting the 30 minutes and just standing around trying to figure things out. Oftentimes, when something is closed, they will be yelling it at you as you are waiting. So just be listening to the cast members as you are there. So that was early entry. Now, rope drop is a little different. So typically, you will be going through the tap styles and they will hold you at a certain point. You are going to be waiting in a crowd and they are going to make sure when the park does open that there are those people with the ropes in front walking you all the way to the rides. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, they are going to walk to make sure that you are walking. Okay. The closer up front, whether it's for early entry or for rope drop, that is to help you. That's important because that's what's going to get you into the lines faster. Now, the big thing that you want to do is arrive before the park opens. So if the park opens at 9, don't arrive at 9. You want to arrive at that 8:30 time so that you're leaving at 8, trying to get, tapped through by 8:30 and then waiting for those 30 minutes. And I do understand that does mean that you're waiting for 30 minutes, but it still puts you at the front. And being in the front allows you to get through rides faster than other people, especially if you don't want to use Genie Plus. You can't use Genie Plus for every single line. So this is a way that you can do that. So the tips for rope trap are you really want to arrive that hour early, meaning you're leaving for the bus or transportation, the Skyliner, you're walking, the bus, the boat, and however it is that you get there. You want that an hour before. You want to be checking the wait times because they are often shown for the early entry people before you come in for a regular time. So if you already see that Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is at 60 minutes and you haven't even entered the park, that might not be the best time to ride it. You might want to wait till all the way at night, or at least that gives you an idea like, okay, we're going to be waiting the 60 minutes. You want to be prepared for before park open means you want to be ready. You want to be standing in the certain location that's going to get you to the ride that you want to ride that morning. And you want that ride to be known. And it's important that you know where to wait. So I'm going to show you some maps to kind of better help you as we go through, because I think that that's really important. So when we're talking about Magic Kingdom, this is an anomaly, okay? This is the only park where it just opens early for everyone. So early entry guests, you will get in 30 minutes before early entry. And if you're resort guests, you're getting in an hour early. And if you're early entry, what's going to happen is you're going to come up Main Street and they're going to pull you over in the Tomorrowland area and scan your magic bands or your whatever it is, your phone, your key card, whatever it is. And then at 8:30, they will let you walk, okay, to the different locations. Now, understand that nothing past this area in Fantasyland is open. This area of Adventureland and Frontierland is not open during early entry. So you don't want to be picking Thunder Mountain as your early entry ride because it's not opened and they're not going to let you go over here. So it's important to understand that. So you're picking the rides that are actually open. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train here is the most popular ride at this time. So a lot of people are going to be waiting right here or trying coming over here. This would be the area, the side at least you want to walk on. If you're coming over on this side, you're going for that Thunder Mountain and when Tiana's Bayou opens over here, or Pirates, this is the side that you're going to want to be on. So it's important that you understand where you're going in the morning so you can make the best strategy and not waste precious time. So The thing about Magic Kingdom is Main Street and all the way up to the hub here is open earlier. So an hour before the park opens, this whole area of Main Street and all the way up to the hub is open. If you have early entry, you're not really, stopping here. You're just walking through and then getting over here, trying to scan your band and then get to whatever ride it is. If you're rope dropping, you are walking here and you are trying to get in this spoke area and trying to wait at the specific area that you're trying to go to. So this is a little different than the rest of the parks that don't really open up exactly like this. And you can do shopping. The food areas are open. The Starbucks is open here. So these are all things that you can do. The important part about early entry and rope drop is the closer to the front of the line will get you to the front of the line of whatever the first ride it is that you're trying to get on. And that's the whole point. Now, if we're talking about Epcot, and this is, of course, Epcot's my different one always, there's two ways to get in. If you are taking the bus or the monorail, you're coming in by Spaceship Earth. If you are walking or taking the Skyliner in, you are coming in here by International Gateway. So it's super important you understand where you're walking into based on what resort you're staying at. But for early entry, if you're coming in International Gateway, going into France and going to Remy's is going to be your best bet, or going over to Norway to go on to Frozen is going to be your best bet. If you're coming in from the front, it's going to be a huge walk back to get to Remy's, and the people who are coming in from the International Gateway who just have to take a right to get there are all going to beat you there. Now, I would say Norway is, pretty much even there. So if you have Frozen fans, those are the two places that people are really going to go in the beginning. Although once Guardians of the Galaxy comes off the virtual queue, that's going to be different. Then you're going to see a lot of people wanting to go to Guardians of the Galaxy. And that means that a lot of people are going to want to be in the front so they can get to Guardians of the Galaxy. So these are all things that you need to be aware of. If you are rope dropping, meaning you don't have access to early entry because you're not staying on Walt Disney World property, you're most likely then coming in from the front. They're going to let you stay right here in front of Spaceship Earth, and eventually they will just start letting you go. They won't go, they don't typically have you go past this area. And I will say Epcot works kind of differently. Sometimes they let you in and then let you walk to a certain point just to get, because there is so much space in Epcot. So it kind of works differently here depending on where you go. And I'm going to be honest, because I typically always stay on property. I don't have a lot of experience doing the rope drop as much. I can say now that each park is open for 30 minutes earlier. Those rope drop people, those people that are coming in as the park opens and are not staying on property, you're having waits to your lines now. So there is that benefit for staying on property. Oh, Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios is known for the rides going down, like I said previously. So it's super important that if you are going here, that you need a backup. You need a backup, and you probably need a backup to your backup, because it's always when it's super busy at the parks, at Christmas time, at Easter time, those spring break times. That's when these rides seem to go down the most. So it's very important that you understand how you are getting in to Hollywood Studios. So again, you will start here. If you're taking the boat, if you're taking the bus, if you're taking the Skyliner, you're all going to be walking up here. If you're driving, this is the entrance they're going to let you in. Now, typically the early entry people, they will have a spot where you can check in. So you'll come through here, and then they will hold you right in front of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. After most people have gotten through, it's 15 minutes before into early entry, it's 15 minutes before the park's officially going to open, they will also let other people start coming in and lining up here. That's why it's important to come in early for early entry, because you only have 30 minutes. So then you're with the rest of the regular crowd trying to get in at that point. So it's very important to go early. Now, if you are trying to go to Tower of Terror, you don't want to have to, it's not going to be helpful to be all the way in front of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. You want to stop halfway down so that when it's time, you can just walk down to Tower of Terror. Now, what I will say is when Tower of Terror is down, you have to walk very far when the roller coaster over here opens up again. At this time, it's closed. So I'm so afraid to say a name because I'm afraid they're going to change it when they reopen it back up. But if it's the Aerosmith roller coaster, hopefully it's still like that in 2023 when it reopens up. But if Tower of Terror is down and you have to walk all the way back, like you are like restarting over to walk back to get to Toy Story Land, so or to Galaxy's Edge. So it's a long walk. That's your 30 minutes. If you walk in Tower of Terror's down to get to another ride, the park is going to open by the time you get to another ride. I don't recommend rope dropping Tower of Terror. It goes down too often in the morning for me to suggest that. I would rather you wait till later in the night to ride it than anything else. Now, the big thing is people are going to go for Slinky Dog and Rise of the Resistance here. So if you are waiting here, right in front of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, you're going to all have to go this way, typically. They don't typically let you go both ways during early entry. Sometimes they might, but typically they're going to have you go around this way. So a lot of people are going to go through Toy Story Land before they get to Galaxy's Edge. Now, being in front makes a huge difference to get to Toy Story Land because Slinky Dog Dash is super popular. So if you can get to the front, you will be, in Slinky Dog, in the first couple of cars that goes by, you will be able to hop onto a second ride in that early entry time. If you are not one of the first couple of like vehicles or people or anything like that, you are only going to get to do one thing. Okay. Or you're still waiting when the park opens even. Now with Rise of the Resistance, again, this ride goes down, but they have modified it. So they have like an A and B. So if certain elements aren't working, they'll still ride the ride. It just won't have all the elements in it. Now, because Rise of the Resistance is about a 20-minute ride, including the pre-shows, it's important that you understand that if you're doing Rise of the Resistance, you are only doing Rise of the Resistance in early entry. You won't have time to do anything else. Like maybe you'll be walking to another ride, but that's pretty much it. If you are doing Smuggler's Run, you definitely can then hop into line at Rise of the Resistance, no problem, or even maybe walk back to Toy Story Land and get into Slinky Dog before the regular rope drop crowd comes in or the regular guests come in. This is a great park. It's a lot of the rides are really spread out here. So just know that and know that, you need those backups, especially at Hollywood Studios. Now, Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom is another one. Pretty much this is what happens when Animal Kingdom opens for rope drop. You are coming here. This is the park that typically opens up the earliest. So early entry sometimes is at 7 a.m. or 7:30. And sometimes it's even at 6:30 a.m. So you need to make a decision if this is the place that you're going to do early entry or rope drop to. Okay, because it opens up early. There is a huge benefit to coming here early. The last couple of times I have done it, because I test this out when I go, I like to go during all varying times during the year, not just the easy times when it's easy, like all those vloggers and YouTubers out there. I go when actually people travel with my family. But when you come into the entrance here, you are almost always going off to the right. So to the left, sorry. The people who do not have early entry are going to be lining up to the right. So here you will scan in again. And your whole party needs to be together. And you're going to come down, you'll see the Tree of Life, and then everyone is going to go to the left because everyone is going to Flight of Passage. And let me tell you, Flight of Passage is the best time in the morning. This is like the number one thing I think you should do if you're doing early entry. You can easily get onto Flight of Passage if you are in the front half of the group. It's very easy. I have done it multiple times where I'm not even I don't feel like I'm that close to the front, and I have gotten up and we have been on and off in the 30 minutes. So hardly any wait time. It's great. If your choice is to not ride Flight of Passage, everything else is a breeze to walk on because I would say 80% of the people are going to Flight of Passage. The problem is that 10% of those people are going over to the safari and it's not open for early entry. So a lot of people waste time going over to the safari ride for early entry and it's not open. So it's really important that you understand what rides are open for early entry and what rides are not. Um, Navi or Journey, there are a lot of people on that. Everest is open, so that's a great time to ride Everest. You can probably ride that multiple times while you're there. My husband and I have done that multiple times in the morning. And then we've purchased individual lightning lane for Flight of Passage later in the day. So you kind of have to decide what it is that you want to do, but have that ready. Now, if you can get on Pandora and then walk over to the safari, you could be one of the first people on the safari for that day. My biggest suggestion that I will say is if you are there for early entry, you need to be careful when the park does open because there are masses of people coming at you. So you want to make sure that you're safe and you're not walking against that crowd. But that's just the biggest thing that at the half an hour mark after you have gotten in for early entry, there's going to be a ton of people coming towards you. So just watch that, make sure that you understand that those people are coming. So all right, that is it. Please let me know what questions you have about early entry and rope drop below. I'd love to talk more about it. And yes, I will see you next time on Magical Travel Adventure. Bye.